We like to build up all the anticipation.
Wait for it.
Let's say hypothetically that I don't know anything about fly fishing.
Yeah, right?
It was like this instant 8-way man crush.
I'm on the fence.
The time we've been doing this podcast, I've never seen Uncle Buck perk up his butt. It's dolphin procreation. Like you just flipped up out of your chair.
Yeah, he just blew out his blowhole.
What are you talking about?
And that's pretty much my dream coming true is to actually meet you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm the humblest guy I know.
Work and do trade shows in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You meet some pretty wild guys.
You blew it!
I'm the worst PR person ever. Fire me.
And we are back. We are in the current. Oh, there it goes. You're listening to the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. I can't wait to get into it tonight.
Let's hurry.
We got some new voices that I haven't heard in a while. Who do I got with me tonight?
I'm Catfish.
It's P.A. Buck, or call me Bucky.
I'm Steve.
This is Dave.
And I'm Ryan. It's going to be that kind of night, isn't it, Bucky?
Oh, I'm a wisecracker tonight.
I got a feeling. And David,
Yes,
if I may.
You can call me Deke.
Mr. Kyle.
Oh, it'll be Deke. Don't you worry. Stevie, tell me something. What do you got going on?
You know, on Saturday, I did. Well, let me just kick this off by saying I did not catch a trophy this week.
What?
No,
I've come to expect that.
I'm sorry. It was a slow week. But on Saturday, Will and I were able to get out with
a boat and a plug in it
with
before it goes in the water.
We plugged the boat first. It happens one time, and
You just
never live
ruined
it
the
down.
pod. I didn't listen to it yet.
One time.
Is that a thing?
You forget a plug.
No, it's
one
not
time.
a thing.
Okay.
Not at all, bud.
You forgot the plug? I got to listen back now.
I mean,
Yeah, you
forgot
gotta go
is
back.
How many
listen.
mutual boat
forgot's
rides
your word, Catfish.
did both of those guys go on in their lifetime?
Yeah. Well,
All right, go
like
back
not
and-
every boat has a plug in it, though. you know?
Exactly. Go back and listen to Stand Down Pellet.
Catfish will tell us soon about a story of a boat he was on that didn't have a plug.
Yeah, so Will and I were able to go out with our friend Brian.
Ooh, Pike Diesel.
What happened?
Well,
was that why I was going to?
Here's
You guys
the thing.
do all the fun crap while I'm out of the country.
Here's the thing, and I feel terrible for this because we've been referring to him as this forever. We're fishing, having fun, and I'm just calling him Pikerowski, Pike Diesel, and you know, you guys have met Brian. He is
Super nice guy.
probably one of the top 3 politest guys I've ever met in my life. He says,
After me and Will.
after you and Will,
Okay.
then there's Brian. He says, you know, I didn't really want to tell you this, but you've been pronouncing my name wrong.
It's Brian.
It's
Brian? Is it Brian?
Hi, Brian.
Brian.
It's French. No,
Brian.
it's Pick Diesel.
What?
Pick Diesel.
I thought it was Pike
Pikerowski.
Diesel, too.
No.
Once you go Pike,
Pikerowski.
you
Why you
can't
didn't tell me that all
dislike.
day when I called him out?
Once you go Pike, you can't dislike.
No, I can't
Is that
go
what you
back.
said?
Yeah, once you go Pike, you can't dislike.
Well,
Pike Diesel. I'm
and he-
sorry. Brian
Did he take
Pikerowski.
offense?
No, absolutely didn't take offense at all. I
love you, bud.
He was.
But you're Pike Diesel from here on out, bud.
Hold on
Or
a second.
Brian.
Or Brian. No, not Brian. Pike Diesel.
So you took Pikerowski fishing. Did you look in his cooler?
I didn't, and here's the thing about that. He said he made it a point to say that he forgot that he had honey buns when he went with you.
Oh, that's so wrong. Don't show them to me. Don't accidentally leave your cooler open and flash me the goods if you're not going to share them.
Yeah, he said he forgot he had honey buns.
Teaser.
and
Yeah,
he
my neighbor,
absolutely
Pleaser.
the neighbor girl down the street always said I accidentally forgot to shut my curtains when I was when I was in the bathroom too. Oh, I'm sorry. Facing my bedroom window when I grew up. I'm just kidding. I didn't have any neighbors.
Yeah, so
I had to walk like a mile to get down there. So
But that's a story for another day. Do go on, Stevie.
Brian said he is not gonna have a honey bun with anyone from R2 until he has the honey bun with Catfish.
There you
first.
go. Thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Pick.
Good on you.
That was big of him. But
Brian.
So it should be Pick Diesel.
It's Pick Diesel. Yeah, Pickerowski.
We can fix that. That's easy.
I'll tell you, just the awesome guy.
You know, I hung out with him to turkey hunt that time, and we're driving around in his really nice jacked up Jeep. I mean, it's
that's
tricked
sweet,
out.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
he brought that to
And I'm
Lake.
trying to figure out, like, where's the diesel thing come from? And he's like, oh, it's down around back. I have this big diesel truck and a big camper that I pull around. I was like, can't imagine what that thing's like when this is all tricked out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we had a great. So he met me at my house at, I don't remember what it was, 5:30, and then we pulled the boat up to what's the name of that lake?
Pinchot.
Pinchot. Yeah.
which I'm disappointed in you.
What's the matter?
You guys had a less than mediocre day at Pinchot.
It was a tough fishing day, and the crazy
That's
thing,
always like an easy lake to catch fish at.
But if you go back
This
and
summer
listen,
especially.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to every podcast where we've ever talked about Pinchot, and the caveat we always throw out is, "Oh, Pinchot's a hard lake to fish," and now you're saying it's
Unless you have tubes.
I've
Unless
never said that.
Well, it's because you
maybe.
fish with tubes.
Okay.
You're a superstar.
But we you know, it was crazy. The first cast, I get a hit on top water, and I thought, man, it's on. Jammies.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. And then after that, it was nothing. I mean, Brian was able to land some bass on this slick little crankbait that he was using. But other than that, it was slim pickings.
He's a good fish. He's a good fisher.
Really good fisherman.
How clear was that water that time?
It would have been raining off and on, so it wasn't terribly stained, but it wasn't terribly clear.
It
either.
can be very clear.
Yeah, it can, but it seems like it's on average is a stained lake though.
Yeah.
That lake doesn't like me, so I'm on your side, Stevie.
Yeah.
I find it to be a hard lake to fish.
I absolutely
Here's
agree.
The crazy thing too is it was in the 80s when I was there on Saturday.
What boat did you take?
We took Phil's.
So it's just a community boat. Now, can I borrow it?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely. Just pick it up.
Does it run?
Best with
We
the plug.
used a trolling motor, and it did no issues whatsoever with that.
Did the
trolling
big motor run?
We ran that at Racetown, and we had some issues idling, but I think we got that worked out.
Did you put oil in it?
Yeah.
Just needs to. And carber's been sitting a long time.
Yeah.
You'll learn all
I'll
about
mess
that.
with it.
in
Stevie.
Stand down pellet.
It needs a jet's turned. We'll do
That's
it.
In fact-
exactly what it did. Just
In fact, Stevie said, "Hey, bud, well, when's the last time the spark plug's been changed?" I said, "The spark plugs were changed about 4 years ago."
When the factory built it.
yeah.
And
I actually stirred
had
my
it into
coffee
Bass
the
Pro, and I
morning
put
with
on
it.
the new trolling motor. I had him put new plugs in it because I never knew how long the previous plug.
But it hasn't run much since then.
No, not hardly at all. I mean, it's maybe 3 hours. Tops.
Just because an outboard's brand new, you can buy a brand new outboard. If it sits for years, it has issues.
I doubt if
it
that-
still needs work.
I doubt if that engine has even went through the breaking in hours.
Bless your heart,
fix it.
Buck.
Oh, and now we will. Yeah,
I got lots of places to take that boat. We'll fix that.
let's go.
But Brian, we had a lot of fun with Brian. Everything you guys have said about him, he's just a genuine good guy, an easy guy to talk to.
I don't know who you're talking to. I never said anything.
I know you didn't. You hinted at it a little bit though, but
That's one of my favorite days on the water.
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoyed fishing with him.
yeah. Even though the fishing was off, and I was kind of in a hurry because I had to fix a basement door. You remember my bee-hole problem that I had?
Yeah.
I
Well, I
recall.
don't want to get into that, but that problem's still around. Well, it's not around anymore.
Long
We
as
got-
it's not an a-hole problem.
we got that fixed. But anyways,
I'm glad
great
you
day
had
with
fun.
Brian.
Yeah, glad
Great
you
day
had
with
fun.
Brian. Deke, let me just start off here, and we should have kind of preempted this whole episode by saying we are not going to get to the better the hunt topic.
Oh,
hat.
I don't know how we could.
There's absolutely no way we're going to get to the better the hunt topic hat. So plug the do the better the hunt
Yeah,
plug.
go
there,
check
Ryan.
out betterthehunt.com. All the cool products they got going on there. Pick you up bow mitts so your hand stays warm this year. And yeah, check it out because we're not getting to the top of cat.
And I'm pretty sure you can get 15% off.
When you buy the next boat mitt.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is the discount code there, Stevie?
I believe the discount code is
Rut
River 15.
That's the one.
Yeah. Check them out.
RUTRIVER 15.
BetterTheHunt.com.
It's what we do.
Get you some.
That was good.
I thought so.
That was
It's fantastic. Tiki, what you got going on, bud?
I just watched it rain. That's pretty much it.
Dude, this is insane. I can't take this
I
anymore.
know.
I wish there was someone we could call and complain to.
Just got to wait it out.
There's a 1-800-FLORENCE number you can call.
Is there?
Yeah.
That do anything?
Florence Henderson.
Yeah.
I was just
She's coming, and there ain't no stopping her.
She's not even breathing hard.
No.
They were.
You always know the worst. You always know the worst of the worst things in the world.
Yeah.
Come at you. Like if you're standing in front of a train going 100 miles an hour, you know you're dead quick. But if you're standing in front of that same train that's going 4 miles an hour, you're still dead, just slower.
Yeah.
That storm coming off the coast of North Carolina is moving at like 8 miles an hour.
I feel
now.
bad for those folks. 30 inches of rain or something like that.
Like 4 feet of rain coming through there.
How do you
it's
deal
gonna be
with
rough.
that? How do you deal with that? I don't know.
Not well.
Anything else? There's David Kyle.
That's about it.
That's
I'm
it.
sure you can outrun it at 4 miles an hour.
Well, I mean, I don't know about the traffic. I saw some pictures of 95 where
They shut it down.
they're running both ways.
Yeah, north.
Sorry, they're running.
Northbound both ways.
Yes.
Eight
Yeah.
lanes.
8 lanes north.
Yeah, to get out of there.
Holy buckets.
There are some people that are going to ride it out, and I honestly want to say I wish them luck because it could be bad.
There's always some that won't go. Even if they will evacuate like off the beach or in some of those areas where they have the islands, they'll evacuate back to mainland, but they try to stick it out.
The
real
house that
close.
you go down to and rent for vacation, will that be affected at all?
Virginia Beach?
Yeah.
It could.
Rain?
It could. I mean, this year in general has been rough. This is going to be exceptional on it.
The problem is the whole East Coast is wet.
Yeah,
It's already
there's
wet.
nowhere for it to
There's
go.
nowhere for the water to go.
I know the beach
Ocean
that
City's boardwalk's underwater already.
the one beach that we go to, which is Bayside in Delaware. Like the sand dune washed out, which was just replaced like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's gone.
Just from this nor'easter that came through before.
Yeah, I saw
even
pictures
in
of
this
some
area,
of that.
guys. People are having trouble with even their
Sand mounds.
Sand dunes.
their sand
Sandbox.
Oh, I'll have to.
Basements.
There's cesspools, not
Sump pumps.
Sump pump.
no, not the
French
Septic
drains.
system.
septic drain.
French drain.
No, the septic
French doors.
The drain field.
Their
drain
temperature
field.
thermometer.
septic tank. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I can imagine.
Geothermal
I
energy.
apologize. I derailed.
Solar
Just throwing
panels.
stuff out.
Guys, the rain's been so bad it's affected up in this area. I've heard people talking about the ground is so saturated that their septic tank and the leach.
Oh, I
the
believe
leach
it, brother.
It's so saturated it won't even. They're not draining.
Well, even the tree roots aren't holding. I came home to a down tree. It just fell over
Yeah.
with no wind.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, I
wind
mean-
picks up and we're in trouble.
Our archery opened in Maryland. Last Friday.
How'd you do?
I haven't been out just because it's been
Who are you?
pouring for
Yeah.
24 hours a
I
day.
think you had 2 down by this time last year.
It's
you're
like
not
I
the-
don't even know you anymore.
You're
I
dude.
not
know.
the David I know.
I don't even know if I know where that area is anymore. It's been so long.
It's underwater by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
No, I checked my log sheets from last year, and by this time last year, I think I only hunted 2 days. So I'm not
But
too.
you got one on opening day last year, right?
Yeah, I had one down. So I guess my September I wasn't pushing really to
It
get out in
wasn't a
September.
wash.
It was just a mediocre year last year for David.
No, it was a banner year. I was happy with it.
Ryan, what about you? We got to move this along because this is.
We've already exceeded our
We've already-
time limit
yeah.
for everybody. I think we're all just stalling. Unfortunately for me, I really don't have anything. I've been trying to prep and do some stuff. We were up at my cabin this past weekend.
That looked like fun.
It was a good time, but it rained the whole time. We were fortunate
new?
enough. I took my boat, or Hunter's boat, your mom, up in hopes of getting the engine worked on, but unfortunately the guy that I got it from doesn't do boat engines. He's a small engine repair shop, doesn't work on boat engines.
Even though it's small.
It is awful small, but he doesn't do any work on boat engines. So unfortunately, the guy to my left right now has got some extra work to do that he doesn't know about yet.
10-4.
There's another guy here too.
Just take it.
Down.
Just have him take it home.
I think we might.
Take your mom right on home.
We did have enough time to get the boat on the water for about 45 minutes, and my son was able to capitalize.
Yes.
Caught his first
Pickerel, wasn't it?
Pickerel.
Nice.
Was it a pickerel?
I didn't have to go through the conversation with myself that I had in the video that Catfish saw.
Yeah.
Where I was like, is it a muskie? I don't know. It's pretty small. Maybe it's a baby muskie. No, it can't be. So I knew this time, no doubt about it. And guess what he caught him on, Stevie?
Cast master.
Colored whopper plopper.
Ned rig.
Ned rig.
All right, it had to be one of the three. But you're going to find out. Stevie switched up whopper plopper colors on us.
Wow.
You'll find that out later. Catfish.
Let me guess. Bluegill.
Boom. Nailed it.
Is that what you caught that big bass on?
Yeah. I only fish 3 colors of whopper plopper.
Bluegill.
Whatever's on sale. Bluegill.
Whatever they didn't sell that good that season.
Whatever's left over in the sale bin.
But the other thing I am really excited about, although I don't have an opportunity to hunt anywhere in Maryland, that the season's already open. I don't hunt southeast Pennsylvania where the season's either open or about to.
It should be opening the day after this airs.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm not sure that area ever closes.
We got a minimum like 2.5 weeks till I can be in a stand.
Can you believe that, though?
But I am dialed in. I made a few adjustments when we were at 717 the other week, and I was able to shoot twice this week and double check the broadheads. You know the target that Will likes to shoot into?
Yeah,
that one that's designed for broadheads.
Oh, okay.
I was able to bust out the broadheads and take a few shots into that, and I'm dialed in out to 50 yards with my broadhead.
Shut your mouth. 50 yards.
I wouldn't take a shot at that distance, but just having that confidence means when I see that deer at 8 yards, it's a chip shot.
I'm so proud of you. I told you straightening your arm would do you better.
Yep, that's what I did. Lock that elbow out.
Tighten her up, bud.
I happened to hear the last part of one of the podcasts and it slipped it in there.
I don't know what happened.
Actually, the 717 guys took an inch out of my draw length.
Oh, I heard about it.
And
I heard that one.
And
what happened?
I've been telling you that for a long time.
I've been practicing, and things have not changed since 717, guys.
Awesome.
Nice.
I'm full of confidence as far as the bow. Now, the next 2 weeks, I'm going to sit in a chair and shoot.
That's good to practice. If you're going to shoot from a chair, shoot out of a chair. Yep.
Because in your blind, we sit in a...
Yeah, we sit in chairs, and I don't want to be the first time I have to do that.
That's a smart idea.
Make sure you're shooting your broadheads. Shoot one of your broadheads. Shoot it a couple times.
Should I use the dummy broadhead?
What kind of broadhead you shoot?
It depends. I tape my broadhead shut. So.
I use a mechanical broadhead.
Did the package come with a practice blade?
Yes, it did.
You can use that. It'll be fine.
You shouldn't have any problems at all with that.
Thanks, Stevie.
Stevie's been doing it for years.
That makes me feel 10 times better. It's one thing when Catfish and then Ryan chimes in on it, but I can breathe
I would
easy
concur with
once I hear from Stevie Miser.
You're going to sleep easy tonight.
Bowmaster, Stevie Robin Hood Miser. Another
How many nicknames?
Yeah,
that man has gotten some serious nicknames.
I have to ask.
Go ahead.
And before we get into the meat of the current,
feature.
Into the strongest, the deeper current, guys, I have 2 fawn yearlings that I've been noticing daily in my backyard. One does not have spots, and one still does. Are they? How late?
Yeah, man, they'll taste good. Don't worry.
They will be. They'll be good.
Oh, I know they will be good. It's like veal. But
I saw one with spots the other night coming home.
Is that normal?
It's not abnormal.
It's not. Okay.
It's a super wet year. Rut was late last year. It's not abnormal.
Thank you, because I am the novice hunter, and I'd like to.
We should talk.
I feel that rut was later last year.
Yeah, and then
it was.
They can get bred on that second rut.
And really, what that is the does, the adult does, are going to be the first ones to come into estrus. They get bred. That's what everybody, I'm using air quotes that nobody can see right now, but that's what they call the rut. what happens is those yearlings that were born in the spring of that year will actually come into estrus, but it's generally later in the year. So that's what they refer to as the second rut. So your later fawns are from the previous year's fawns that got bred late in the season.
So basically a year-old doe can be bred
a 9-month.
Yeah,
definitely.
Wow.
And that's how quick they come into. Wow.
Yeah,
it's a testimony to the species.
I heard that.
Well, and I always find this fascinating that a doe can be bred to multiple bucks. So she can have, say, 3 fawns.
All the different daddies.
All the different ones. That's always.
What? How do they handle that down at the department?
The game commission really scratches their heads on how to identify
Fawn
that.
and Youth Services.
Listen, Father's Day is really confusing in the woods.
Yeah, all right.
How can one doe have 3 fawns to 3 different bucks in the same year?
You need to contact your biologist.
What's even more
Really?
interesting is that
Stevie, I'll
can happen.
explain
It's
later.
been documented.
Yeah.
A doe can have triplets
Yes.
in the same
absolutely.
season.
Quads, even.
Probably.
Wow.
I don't know about. I don't know that I've seen
Maybe
too
we
much of
shouldn't
that.
get too
but
deep into this.
No, but what I find interesting is the gestation period of all 3. While they were bred at different times, they're all being birthed the same day. So
yeah, and that could be over a couple days stretch.
Which is why typically the youngest one don't make it.
Okay.
Not all, especially if they're born as late as they are now, and we have an
It's
early
harder on
winter.
them. Yep.
They're not prepared.
I'd love to learn more about that because that's.
Well, you should have went to school to be a biologist, Steve. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe.
But speaking of prepared,
yeah, Buck.
I've been prepared for the last 2 weeks.
There it is.
What's
about to unfold?
What is about?
What
to
a
unfold.
segue.
And that is, I've been prepared to hear Catfish's vacation story.
We haven't heard from him in 2 weeks.
No, we haven't. I've missed him. I've missed his voice. He got out of his truck tonight, and there was conversation of, did he get sexier?
He did.
I think he did. He did.
It's that Barbados sun
Dude,
tan.
you look so good, brother. How was it? Good
About
to
the
have
tannest I've been in my life.
You look glorious.
Yeah,
right now,
it's
man.
good
You like
to have
Beard's
you
coming
back.
back in.
Adonis of the Caribbean.
It looks like it's coming in a little thicker too.
It is.
It's got a different shape to it.
It's coming a little whiter in places I keep hearing, but it's all right.
I didn't
Proud
say
of you,
that.
bud.
All right, bud. Let's just cut right to it.
Cut right to the silverback.
Oh, man. Vacation time. It's always fun when Lacey takes me on vacation. Lacey plans it. We've known from past history that always doesn't go as planned.
What was the last vacation that Lacey planned for you?
Lacey planned a vacation in the island of Roatan, Honduras.
Huh.
She rented a house.
Gorgeous.
Rented
Gorgeous.
a house on a private
What episode
beach.
was that talked about in?
That was called R2 Summer Vacation.
So look
That
it up
was
for all
way-
that chaos.
That's probably
That was
one of
probably
my
2 years
top
ago.
5.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a great episode.
Top 5 episodes.
That went
Such a good story.
perfectly as planned.
Which, if you guys just pause this episode now, go back, listen to that one, and you'll see why we're all as excited as we are to hear how this one went.
Oh, well, God bless Lacey's heart. She overplans. She overanalyzes. She's got notepads.
You got your itinerary ready to go.
No, I'm talking folders and backpacks full of looking up beaches, reading about beaches, looking up excursions, looking up private excursions, looking up the size of the motor on the boat, where the cabin should be, like what the cumulonimbus clouds are doing over, Puerto Rico and this time of year. Like she talks about it constantly, and then she comes to me and says, "I want to do this, 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 and this," and then. Like my gut instinct from archery hunting goes, all right, that sounds all right. That sounds good. And then I go, no, something about that I don't like that. I don't like that. And I never win. And she goes, it'll be all right. Same as Roatan. And I don't. All right.
Did you just say, and I never win?
And I never win.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
We all have to admit that once
I'm
in a while.
familiar.
Yeah.
So the whole trip started out rough. Like, and I'm sure she probably don't want me to tell the whole world, but we didn't even leave we left the house. We didn't make it through Hanover. I get down through Hanover, and we got tons of time. We leave early. We got 5 hours to make it to Baltimore, or something to get on a plane. I got tons of time. And I get down, and I got one guy, going down through Hanover, right there at Sheets, as you turn right to go to Tractor Supply. It's 2 lanes.
Yeah.
There's a box truck in the left. Now, if I don't get in front of him soon, I got to go the whole way through Hanover,
You're
the whole
going
way
to
through
follow
the
through
traffic.
downtown with him.
Yes. So I got to get by one guy, and he's in the right lane, riding right beside the box truck, 5 miles an hour, under, like way under. So,
What time of day was this?
5 minutes after daylight.
It's perfect.
Early.
Top of the morning.
God bless his heart. He pulled over, and I kept going. Nevertheless, that ended up in a full-blown pre-vacation argument. We drive down to BWI, and what happens? Both A and B long-term parking lots are closed. There's 0 spots, and I'm driving up the fence line, and I'm looking at Lace going, there's one right there. There's one right there. I can see open spots. So what I pulled right up to the gate, and Lacey's like, just please don't. I'm like, listen, lady, there's 2 right there. I can see them from here. Do you want my binoculars? And she's like, no, they're closed. I can't let one in at a time. Well, so where am I supposed to park? She said, go park in the daily parking for $15 a day.
Ooh. Yeah, instead of 8.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm on vacation. So we roll. We get down. We find that place, and we get on the 7th floor and park. And I get out and realize that somehow, now I pack the truck, 50-pound bags at Southwest apiece. You know, I have 1 check bag. Lacey has 2. All of a sudden, we get out of the truck, and I'm dragging stuff to the bus that takes us to the airport, the little shuttle bus, and the bags multiplied. Now I have 2 check bags, and one wasn't mine. So I'm dragging 3 50-pound bags, and I don't know where the other one came from, how she got it in the truck, and so I don't even know what's in it. Regardless.
Shoes.
Yeah.
It's my guess.
Find out later. We get to the bus, and it wasn't a long wait. Run the elevator, get in the bus, and it takes us to the airport. And the really cool thing with BWI, I don't know if they're all like this, is they have the outside curb check-in. You just walk up. There's hundreds of people inside trying to get their tickets, and I just walk up to this guy outside, give him $5. He does everything for you. They take your bags and give you their boarding pass, everything right outside, and then you walk in. You got nothing in your hands, but
they just go through security.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
People don't realize that. That's what the little counter is for outside. It's not information, so check that out. When we get inside, security wasn't horribly long, but once again, I just happened to get right behind the guy. Do you remember the guy? What's the guy's name from X-Men, the Xavier wheelchair fellow?
Professor X. Oh, yeah.
Sweatpants people. I'm in a wheelchair. No, I ain't picking on him. My father's in a wheelchair. Full suit, shiny shoes, briefcase, another sitting on his lap.
Yeah.
Must have 8 necklaces on. And I just happened to get behind him, and they wheel him up in front of me, and he gets to go through the thing. Dude, they give this guy a full body pat down right in front of me, and I got to wait. I'm going, sweatpants people, like comfortable shorts, T-shirts, something that don't have the metal in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where he was going, but apparently he wanted to be ready when he got there. So I don't know how long it took him to get through, but they finally let me through the little X-ray scan.
Yeah, that TSA pre-boarding or whatever it is,
like Leanna does.
That thing's awesome. It's worth it.
Yeah, thanks for telling me now.
Sorry, bud.
DK.
Where were you on that one, bud?
Yeah.
I just thought of it.
I mean, I don't know if it must be because I worked in X-ray, but I walked in a little X-ray thing, and you put your hands up in the air, and the thing spins around you, and either the guy gives you a dirty look, or the other girl on the other side opens
giggles.
her eyes real big, and she's like, "Ooh."
What the?
I'm like, I'm hiding whopper ploppers.
190s.
But long story short, we get through Baltimore. It's not a big deal. We wait. We get on the plane. It's actually only a 3.5-hour flight from BWI to Puerto Rico. So we fly into Puerto Rico. It's not a long flight. So technically, Lacey gets us down there a day early.
Nice.
Lacey's planning this thing. So, we're going to get this really nice, amazing hotel on the beach somewhere in Puerto Rico and going to spend the night before we get on this cruise boat.
What is that? Old San Juan?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the name of the city?
Yes. And
so it's a pretty cool city.
It is. And so we get to the hotel. It's only like $12 to go over there. We walk in this hotel, and already I looked at Lace and went, dude, can we afford this joint? Because it's like, it's it.
Yeah.
Like it has a casino in the lobby, a full-blown table games casino in the lobby.
Cool. Did you have to wear pants to go in that casino?
I don't believe I had pants on. No, I had a swimsuit. I had a swimsuit on
when I was in Puerto Rico at one time, and we tried to go in a casino, and we all had shorts on. We got kicked right out. Yeah, real quick.
Because you were wearing the shorts on your head, bud.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no.
Coming off the nude beach, what can you do?
I had wet mossy oak swim shorts on. I went in. They didn't care.
They were cool.
Yeah.
You were wearing those hot pants.
Spanx. Deaky and his Spanx.
You know it.
We get up to the 7th floor, and there's a balcony, and we walk out, and I realize for the first time that I'm on vacation because I don't like flying. And the view was fantastic. The beach, and we could overlook the pool, and the room was great. So we get down to the beach, and I realize that Puerto Rico has 2 types of people on the beach: drunks and really beautiful people. Like
So I fit into 2 of those
I was
categories.
going to say, that
Exactly.
sounds like an afternoon at Buck's house.
I found one guy that was from, who knows, Louisiana or someplace that come up, talk to us. He was tanked walking around. He was fun. He wanted to know all about Rutten River and what he said. I want to know all about Rut River.
Rut River. This is the guy who sent us the video.
Rut River's Pursuit.
Yeah, he wanted to be on video. So anyhow, we went swimming, chilled on the beach, had a drink, laid in hammocks. It was a gorgeous night.
Yeah.
You know, we had dinner there on the beach.
This sounds nothing like your first night in Honduras.
No, it wasn't.
It was actually relaxing.
Yeah.
The next, we spend the night, we get a good night's sleep. We spend the night, and the taxi driver, we had like 2 hours to burn, first of all, and they wanted to take my backpack with all my GoPro gear and all my camera gear. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll keep it safe. We'll put it behind the counter. I'm like, no, wear it. So I have to wear that everywhere. Has all my money and my wallet in it. And anyhow, so the cab driver takes us to the cruise boat the next day. Lacey has the great idea that we'll get on the cruise boat because we board from 3 to 3:30. And then we'll get back off the boat and run a couple blocks through Puerto Rico to a CVS that she found on Google Maps to grab all my Monsters and Coke because it's cheaper, Coca-Cola, to come back onto the cruise boat because you're allowed to take a 12-pack of each. And I thought that was a really horrible idea because when we got on the cruise boat, finally got on the cruise boat, which was like through drug dogs and a bunch of people that don't speak English, we finally got on this boat. We got back off the boat like 2 hours later, and the walk to CVS was from our room, must have been 3 miles. And I didn't want to carry 2 cases of anything with me in the Puerto Rican heat back to the cruise boat. But unfortunately, they did have Monster, so it was a must. And Monster down there was $1 a can. I don't know why it was cheaper than back here, but I want to move to at least around that CVS. It was $1 a can for good Monster. Now, they didn't have my orange one, but they had the white ones. But that was gorgeous. Like, it's in a big marina. So, you know, we had a nice walk down to CVS. We did have to get down one alley that was a little sketchy. I wasn't 100% sure of it, but, you know, nobody took my Monster, so it wasn't horrible. So long story short, we jump on the cruise boat, and the first night, the last cruise we went on, we were dead tired. Same thing here. We go up. I'm not even sure I want to go to dinner. Just want to chill, walk around, check the boat out. We did go to dinner, and they put us at a table with 12 people. 12, let me rephrase that, 12 place settings.
Strangers.
Yes, but guess who was not at my table?
Lacey.
Nobody. When you first walk into this giant dining hall, it's me and Lacey and like 9 empty seats. And everybody that walks in either thinks like nobody wants to sit with them.
Yeah.
Or you're waiting on somebody.
Or you're waiting on somebody.
Yeah.
That happened the first 2 nights. Like, and Lacey likes to dress up, so I felt really horrible for her. Like, they didn't put anybody at our table. So, I don't know. So let's see. I don't even remember. I got off track. So, on the way to the cruise boat, let's talk about that. Raphael, let me tell you about Puerto Rican cab drivers. Mm-hmm. We get in a bus, has no AC. Oh. It's hot.
And people have their arms hanging up.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't lift 50-pound bags real well, by the way, so you have to help him. So Raphael's very cool, speaks very little English, but you drive on the wrong side of the road, first of all.
Yeah.
And he's in this little, like, they're like a Mercedes bus, or like a,
they do?
looks like a bus, like a punch bug bus type of taxi.
Okay.
There's a line to this cruise boat 6 miles through the city, and the curbs are higher than our curbs. This guy ran over 2 curbs, and he kept pulling out into traffic because, like, the cruise boat terminal was so hard to get to out on this peninsula. He would pass. I'm not kidding you. He would come out, and now the other lane's coming the other way. When nobody was coming, he would pass anywhere from 6 to 10 cars, and then force his way back into traffic. Where if you didn't let him in, he was running into you. And then the whole time, like, he has a little tiny American flag hanging up front and a picture of Jesus over the mile an hour gauge.
I need Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, and throw a few more gods in there just to be safe.
Here's a crazy thing. Like,
did he give like a warning beep?
No. He just pulls out, zips as far as he possibly can to another car's coming, and then ducks back in. And that car can't come any further until they let him in. So he causes a traffic jam. He saved us 2 hours on our trip to the boat.
Oh, I can believe it.
But once
took 10 lives, 3 years of your life is gone, just flash before you.
There's no lights. There's traffic in every direction backed up. There's no lights. So it's, first come, first serve, almost like our crossroads. But these are where there should be lights. And there's cops standing in places that they should be directing traffic, but they're not. They're down 2 blocks checking their phone. It doesn't matter if there was a cop or not. Raphael was flying by cops. So picture this. We're going down a road. And if you have to make a U-turn and then a dogleg left to go up a road, and it wasn't meant to be that way, he would make a U-turn, dogleg left, go up over the curb with this little van and go, I'm not kidding you, we went up 2 one-way streets to get to where we needed to be. So I love you, Raphael, because literally our 7-hour trip that it would have taken in traffic, could have walked it if I didn't have the extra 50-pound bag. Yeah. He literally cut hours off our trip from just being a crazy taxi. And you know what I did? Wow. I looked right at Lacey and I said, Hanover don't seem so bad now, does it?
Good for you. You could have Raphael.
There was no AC, and it was hot. Like, it was hot. Like, Jesus' face was sweating in the picture.
I didn't know cars came with no AC anymore.
They do, but they're broken everywhere down there. That's all they run them. Like, they just leave them on and run them because the car would melt. It's Puerto Rico.
Did Raphael have 3 brothers?
I don't, yeah.
Michelangelo.
He was a Ninja Turtle.
Leonardo.
That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, Buck. He might have.
I would say the most frustrating.
The way he drove, I'm questioning.
The most frustrating part of our cruise boat was the first night. They have what's called a muster drill. I remember this before. Everybody goes to a designated area. They throw a life jacket on you. They tell you, that's your lifeboat. If something happens, we call you overhead. You come down here. We throw you on a lifeboat. Nope, not this one. This one, they put us in the diamond. It was a room full of diamonds. I'm not kidding you. Hanging out. It was the Diamond nightclub.
Oh, man.
It was the only place on the boat.
It does sound nice.
It's the only place on the boat you could smoke, and it was like the cigar smoking area.
Okay.
So when you put 300 people in this room to give them their muster drill, 300 people are complaining both in English and in Spanish about the cigarette smell. And all I want is a cigarette because you're not allowed, because I'm allowed to smoke in there during the muster drill. It was, I'm not kidding you, they usually take 15 minutes. This was an hour-long speech about safety and how to put a life jacket on. They kept getting interrupted, and I'm like, I know how to use a life jacket. I'm out of here. And they're like, no, you have to stay. So once they got through it, I'm not kidding, it was like an hour-long talk.
Then they talked about timeshares.
No. They did the whole thing again, and you had to wait in Spanish.
No me digas.
If you have a sentence that's 10 words in English, and then you say it in Spanish, it's 45 words. Yeah. It's so much longer.
That's not what I thought you were going to tell me when you were going to start complaining about the mustard drill. I thought for sure you're going to be like, so there I was with my sausage, and I'm like,
where's the mustard?
We were going to have mustard down here.
No, that's not it at all. Well, it just so happens that we sat in this little couch area too. My luck, this guy comes walking by. He's like, is anybody sitting here? I'm like, no, absolutely, man. Go ahead. This guy has a hat on, like a straw hat. Had 38 pins on it. This is his 39th cruise, and he had to tell me about all 38 other ones while we sat there. And his wife was so bored.
And the corns on his feet and his side.
No, just cruising and how he's a gold member. And, yeah, oh, man, he was the guy that you tried to avoid on the boat the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And his wife was so bored. She was laying on his lap, sleeping with her mouth open, catching flies, and he wouldn't stop talking. Even Lacey at one point wasn't even paying attention to him anymore, looking the opposite direction at the little Spanish kid that was screaming. She found that much more intriguing. So, all right, so we get on. Let's go. So we take off. We leave. This boat is older. It's built in the 90s, so it's tall, it's skinny, and it's faster, but it rocks.
That sounds like the Stevie Miser boat.
It is. I've never been on a cruise boat that rocked back and forth where you can see the water moving.
Ooh.
But this boat does it because it's an older boat.
Yeah.
And when you walk down the hall, you kind of walk from one end to the other. And the only time that's good is when a hot chick's coming the other direction. You kind of hope that you just go. I'm sorry. That never happened to me.
So the only time it's good, that never happened.
So I've heard.
So we go to all these islands. We go to St. Thomas, and St. Thomas was like, people tell me how beautiful it is. I find it extremely scary. I can walk through the woods, chase bears away from our coolers and my underwear. Don't bother me. But St. Thomas, walking around and like I had full riot gear on. I've still been afraid. I didn't like St. Thomas. It was very scary.
What was it? What was the?
It was just. I think because of the fact, too, that it was hit with hurricanes, roofs missing, windows missing, lots of spray paint everywhere. Yeah. People were kind of needy. I don't think that it probably always was like that.
Okay.
But it was...
St. Thomas a U.S. territory?
I think it's a Dutch.
Or British.
Or is that the one that's half Dutch and half French?
No, that's St. Martin.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that.
I don't know saints.
There's a lot of Saint Islands.
I know there's a town on St. Thomas called Hell St. Thomas.
Are you sure you weren't there?
My wife and kids were in Hell St. Thomas.
No
and
kidding.
I have a T-shirt that says I've been Hell Fire Department, and it's an actual fire department T-shirt.
Huh.
Well,
that's clever.
Get right out of town.
No, but I'll wear it next week.
Lacey did all the research for this. So everywhere we go, she's like, we'll save money, not get on a cruise boat. You're like, we'll just rent a taxi and go to all these places I found. Okay,
boy.
I'm up for it, whatever you say. I didn't have any bad feeling about St. Thomas. And other than the scary cab ride, I mean, it wasn't horrible. We went to this place called, it was a very small place called Secret Beach, Secret Harbor. And nobody
talked about it.
Nobody ever talked about it. Yeah. Even the guy that had like 38 cruises and had been on this cruise 4 times had never even heard of it. Unfortunately,
secret.
It was a secret.
Unfortunately, during the muster drill, it was the next day. He's like, "What are you guys doing tomorrow?" Well, Secret Harbor.
Secret no longer.
Oh dear God! Guess who followed me to Secret Harbor? We got there. This is a gorgeous beach.
He's standing there waving. Hey, Catfish, how you doing?
And his Speedo.
I got a special pin here.
Oh,
Speedo.
most beautiful, serene beach in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by mountains, no waves, just crystal clear water, and we're sitting there. 8 people on this beach. It's 200 yards long.
What?
We were chilling under like this tree that gives us shade. There's iguanas running everywhere.
Oh man,
it's very quiet. And then here comes this guy with all them pins on his hat. You said this was amazing. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he never stopped. No, I almost moved to another tree. The only thing that I did do was later go up because we snuck down there when nobody was looking. It was like the private beach resort. Mm-hmm. And I went back up. I'm like, dude, I think that guy's from the cruise boat. And the guy did come down and make him move back to the other side of the beach. He's like, how did you get down there? I'm like, I didn't get my carnival towel out, man. That's the secret. They don't know if you're not from the resort if you don't get that towel out.
That's true. So I remember that.
The snorkeling was top notch there. Saw all kinds of cuttlefish, and I saw a lobster there in the rocks that I tried to get, but he was too far down. Like his antennas were sticking out, and I'm like, oh, I can grab him. And I tried so hard. I'd swim down so far, and I'd be like, no, I need a cigarette. I got to go back up. My ear was popping.
Does it seem like I went snorkeling in the Caribbean years ago, but what I remember was it felt like the water was heavier, or like the pressure was more swimming in there than it was, just swimming in a lake or a swimming pool.
Well, remember when I went down to cut the anchor rope?
Yeah.
It was like 12 feet.
Yeah.
12, I don't know what it is, but 12 or 15 feet there does feel different. I don't know if it's south of the equator or whatever.
Is it because you're near the equator and
there was a lot of pressure in my bad ear? A lot of pressure. If I would have went down, it would have caused me problems.
Can't you float better down there because it's higher salt content?
Well, Lacey and I wear life jackets in Lake Mead to swim out to the buoys and bottle fish.
Yeah.
Lacey doesn't look up when she's snorkeling. I have to scream at her and like throw rocks at her because she'll just swim in one direction and she's like halfway to Cuba. I'm like, stop and like look around sometimes where you're at because there's buoys and then there's boats flying in and yachts and sailboats and she's gone. She swims right past it and she just goes and goes and goes and she'll like turn around. I'm telling you, at one point she was like 300 yards offshore.
Oh, geez.
Like 3 football fields. And now there's still a shoreline going up the other side, but still I was going, you're in 15, 25 feet of water, no life jacket on, and you can snorkel fine. You jump off the dock at Lake Mead and you're 6 feet out with no snorkel gear on and you panic with no life jacket. So it's very buoyant, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus all the cruise boat food makes you fat, so you're just like a walrus floating in the water.
That's more buoyant.
There's definitely some of that. But I think like the pressure thing, like you're saying, I think some of it's mental.
I think it is mental.
If you're 12 foot deep in Lake Mead,
I can't see it,
and you can only see a foot, if that, on a good day, versus 12 foot deep in that crystal clear water.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're 30 foot deep.
Yeah.
So
we were snorkeling in 20, 30 feet of water, and you could see the fish on the bottom.
Yeah.
It was that crystal clear.
That's awesome.
So I think you end up diving, and you're a lot deeper than what you really think you are.
We'll
and that's
get
where
our
that
best
pressure comes
guys
in.
on it. We're gonna have
So
to
like
figure
20
this
looks
one
like
out.
40.
I think we all
It's
go
really
back.
40.
I'm ready.
And I'll bring a tape measure.
I'm seasoned now.
I already know I'm going to St. Lucia with Catfish.
When you
we
get-
haven't
when
even
you-
gotten there, but
I'm going to hell with all you guys.
yeah.
When you get off these ports, off all
We
these
can
cruise
even
boat
take your
ports,
mom.
We can.
they have like these shopping centers, these port centers where you can buy duty free stuff and no taxes, no alcohol is very cheap, blah blah blah. So the next day, like we leave, we go back to this, and the roads are destroyed. There's potholes. They're undercut, and so the roads there in St. Thomas were pretty bad.
Yeah.
But the next day we go to this island, and don't get it confused with the Dominican Republic. It's not. It's called Dominica. It's its own island.
Oh.
Okay.
It's where they filmed a lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean because
no way.
they call it the nature island. It's like 90% unbuilt on.
Oh, nice.
I don't even know how they got the cruise boat like parked at it, but when you get off, there was like 6 big white tents. And that was the shopping center, and that was it, like tent shopping,
Like an open air market type.
yeah,
Like a bazaar.
yeah. So
It was pretty
unfortunately,
strange.
unfortunately, it was horrible. You ever seen?
you did there, bud.
Ever seen like a horror film with like the ladies all contorted and crooked, and her like head's laying on her shoulder? So when we got off the boat, I felt bad. This lady's farm was destroyed by the hurricane. I asked around. She's sitting up against the wall because that was the only shade going right over her head, like sitting up against the barrier wall to the water. And she had a couple kids' toys sitting there trying to sell them for money. And she must have been, I'm not kidding you, she looked 200 years old with glaucoma. And she was so contorted and beat up, and like flies were on her. And I just went, my heart broke. Before we went anywhere, I told Lacey, I said, I gotta go talk to her. I walked over and I gave her like $20. I said, honey, I don't know can I get you some water? So we went over and like, I had a whole cruise boat full of water.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go back on the boat. We went over, some guy was sitting right there seeing me. I'm like, dude, can I have one of them waters for her, please? Because she looks really bad. Can I have one of them waters? Yeah, $8.
$8.
$8 for a bottle of water. He saw me coming.
I'd punch him in the mouth.
And I didn't have change. So I gave him a 10. I'm like, do you have change? He's like, yeah, hold on. And he took so long. And I'm like, you know what? Keep it. So I went over and I gave this poor lady like a bottle of water, and I sat with her. I gave her a big hug, and I told her I loved her, and I asked her her story. They call her Graham. She spoke some good, pretty decent English. Her farm was destroyed over 30 miles away, and she asks multiple people for help to get to the cruise boat when it comes in to sell like her kids and grandkids toys to help her family.
Oh, wow.
And to watch the struggle of this lady to sit in 100-degree heat in the only shade that anybody would let her, all them tents, only like sit on the ground all day, made me really feel like a really horrible person knowing that I just ate this huge breakfast and watched all these people throw all this food out because they got too much. And I got off the boat and it hit me really hard that I'm on vacation, but it's real in other countries.
Yeah.
Like some of these people don't have what we have. So to be able to help her really helped me through the day of Dominica, because Dominica was a rough country. They fight with their government, so they don't help them rebuild. The windows and roofs missing, the houses that were flattened were still like that when we got there. It looked like a hurricane just went through. Was it Hurricane Mara or Mara, whatever. Last year, the big one, it destroyed this island. So the cruise boats, like their number one way of making money. There's people down there everywhere trying to get money. But so once again, Lacey planned this day. Mm-hmm. It was hot AF. And there was goats and chickens and stray dogs everywhere. And, we jumped the taxi. The guy charged us $28 for this taxi, and this taxi went through town, like parts of towns where the roads were washed out, where I was like the car was going to flip over the hill because they don't fix them, like washed out. Lacey wanted to go to a place called Champagne Reef. It's an underwater volcano that you snorkel out like 100 yards offshore, and there's like hot bubbles coming out of the ground from the volcano.
Oh boy!
She read about it online. Also, I read about it online, and it said it's extremely, extremely dangerous to swim there. The beach has jagged, sharp rocks, so wear shoes, and the current's really heavy, so you can get washed out. She didn't read all that. Yeah. So I made her wear a life jacket, knowing I was a better swimmer. Like an hour car ride through places that I really thought that we were being stolen. Like I was even getting sketched going, I was afraid they're going to steal you, but I think they're stealing us both. We're going someplace not good.
Good news is we're going together.
It was bad when the signs had, like the goats had signs on you going, don't do it. Like
the next goat says turn around.
Yeah. But we get to this place and the cab driver, I told the cab driver, how do we get back? How long are you going to be? I said, I don't know, like 2-3 hours. You give me $20, I wait for you here. I went, yes, please do. If you sit here and wait for me, I'll give you money because there's no cab driver coming out this dirt road forever. So online, there's like a cargo container where you can buy lunch on this Champagne Reef beach. And we get there and there's a lady with an umbrella with a fold-out table. And the cargo container and like the building around it is shattered. And she's telling us her story of how, like when we found it on Google, it was pre-hurricane, like pictures of it. And she sells water and sodas and life jackets and rents flippers because she has no money. And it was an island fraught with a lot of heartache when we got there. But the jagged hike out, the really hard swim out, I found out real quick that even I needed a life jacket. It was a hard swim. I had to quit. But we did get out and get some GoPro and saw the bubbles. Water was fairly cold there on that side of the island, but swimming through the bubbles was hot, like almost burning you. The volcanic bubbles coming up, and it was like millions of champagne bubbles coming up,
like tiny.
This is an odd question, but could you smell like the sulfur
Smell
from
like farts?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to like be around.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, but
it's interesting that you say that because I've heard the theories about like the Bermuda Triangle is boats will come over areas with a bunch of those bubbles, and because it's air, that's how they sink so quickly because they're not buoyant anymore because it's a boat trying to float on air.
It's weird you say that because I had such trouble. I thought I was going to drown. I actually quit. I freaked out and told Lacey I have to swim back. And it wasn't as much as the current as I almost felt like I was being dragged down by something weird.
You don't have enough water. There's more air than I
couldn't swim in it. I felt like
the density of water was less than because of all the air, oxygenated air,
or the gases, whatever you want to call it. And it was, and that's why boats can sink in the Bermuda Triangle, and for that very reason.
Yeah,
that is
all this superstition. All they needed was Bucky.
Jeez,
it was pretty wild.
And a documentary somewhere in my lifetime.
So we left the Champagne bubble area, and went back and we jumped on the boat. Next place we went to was Barbados, by far my favorite. Absolutely.
I remember you saying that in some of the messages we got when you got back.
Absolutely. So cool. The most beautiful water, the most beautiful white sand beaches, the most beautiful people. The island itself was totally perfect. No hurricane damage. The government fixed everything with a little gut. The cab drivers wore white shirts and slacks. They rode on the right side of the road. Yeah. Unfortunately, Lacey did a lot of research, and we went to like another beach on the south side of the island and didn't do her research properly because we were the only two when we got there. I mean, the white sand wasn't even hot, and it was hot out. It felt like flour and looked like flour on your feet.
Really?
And it never got hot. The water was warm. You could see through it. There's fish everywhere. It's beautiful. We got down to the water and got in, and I realized something wrong. Me and Lacey were the only two with clothes on. She didn't do her research well enough. And
So you remedied that problem.
No, well, that's the buffet didn't make me super attractive as Barbados people. So out of all the places we went, I would have to say that the people in Barbados are the most beautiful people and
The most naked.
the most unattractive people at the same time. So I didn't need to see all that on everybody that was there.
Just half of them.
A lot of Europeans, maybe.
Oh, no, I don't even know. I didn't ask a lot of questions. I took a nap, tried to not look around as much. There was monkeys running around. Barbados was super cool.
Yeah.
They brought you fish tacos out to the beach.
Did they?
And, yeah, rum punch. And I wish I would have had the Whopper Ploppers there because there were some big, blue-looking fish that were coming in inches into the water.
Oh, nice.
Like you could have thrown spit on them from how close they were to the beach. You walked out, and they swam around you through your legs. I don't know what they were, but they looked like they were good to eat. So
Probably were.
it was the cleanest island by far. So I got to get to St. Lucia. So St. Lucia, real quick, is probably the closest thing to Roatan that I've ever come to.
Oh, no.
So
I'm putting my seatbelt on now.
and St. Lucia was supposed to be it is what the two Python Mountains come out 5,000 feet. I forget what it is. Straight out. They're straight up peaks out of the ocean, and it's what's on every postcard of St. Lucia out there. They're the two peak mountains, and in between these two peak mountains is a little tiny half-moon shaped beach called Sugar Beach, and it's where all the celebrities go. Like it's the must-see beach of your lifetime to see it. Unfortunately, when you get off the cruise boat,
Sounds sweet.
to get through the mountains,
Sugar Beach.
it's to get through the mountains in a taxi takes like 3.5 hours through the twisty turny mountains to get there. Or Lacey hired this guy with a speedboat to get us there in 45 minutes.
Oh,
I had a weird feeling. I can't say that I didn't. I looked at his boats and I looked at him and something I don't know. I was looking online before we left and I went, I don't know. His big claim to fame on his website said we never missed a cruise boat because it wasn't from Carnival. So if you're late, they don't wait for you. You know, and I'm telling Lacey, I'm like, dude, what happens like if this guy just leaves us there, whatever. She's like, well, there'll be other people on his boat. All right. So we're getting off the cruise boat, and I can see out the window. I can see this guy in the harbor 500 yards away from the upper deck of the cruise boat as we're getting off. I can see his boat sitting there because it's a certain color. It sticks out with all these other boats. We get off the boat 20 minutes early to meet this guy, and he's gone. They're like, oh, no, he left. I'm not going to say his name. Let's just say his name is Spencer.
Yeah.
Let's say his name's Spencer. So we get off, and Spencer's gone. And the guy's like, oh, yeah,
I've never liked a Spencer.
You need a taxi or what? I'm like, no, we're trying to find this dude with a speedboat. He's like, oh, that whole group left. They're down there going. I'm like, we're 20 minutes early. We have to run down to the pier, and we're like just getting on. He's like, oh, are you Miss Garvin? We were looking for you. I'm like, yeah, thanks for waiting. So we jump on this boat with like 17. I think there were 17 of us, roughly 17 people.
Yeah.
And so they hired him for a land and sea tour. So they got dropped off about 40 minutes down, and we flew down twin 250s, big
nice.
boat, speedboat. We flew right by a Sandals that looked amazing, Sandals Resort in St. Lucia. But we're flying down like 45 minutes down the coast, absolutely gorgeous. It's a lot like Ireland. St. Lucia's like straight up.
Yeah.
So everything's built on the mountainsides, which makes it tough for the taxis and all to get you anywhere. But as we're flying down through this place, they drop almost everybody off on land, and they take them for this land tour of this town or something. I don't know. But then we drove down the beach more, 20 minutes around the Python to that private beach. They let us off, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to give you lunch and everything. Go get a chair up under the trees or, whatever. Dude, it was gorgeous. It was, for all intents and purposes, it was heaven on earth. Like it was, the water was gorgeous. The beach was beautiful. Everybody was polite and nice. Some nice young kid come over and made us some like leaf animals or something out of some banana leaves. I don't know. He was super cool.
the palm animals.
The palm animals. And he even taught me how to do it. I got some video of that coming out.
Organic origami.
There you go.
Amazing lunch. They gave us, once again, this island rum punch with this charcoal cooked chicken with I never had before. Whatever they put on it was pretty amazing. Some rice and noodles, like island food. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there, and then they come back to the beach.
Those jerks.
The boat comes back to the beach with all them people that took the tour.
Yeah.
And then the lady asked me, Lacey, are you ready? I said, for what? Well, you have a whole private beach to go to. They, you got a 2 beach day. They got an island and sea tour. They got the land and beach. And I went, okay. So we pack our stuff up after 4 hours, and they take us out around the Python up the beach.
And this is where you get kidnapped.
Yes, pretty much. It's just me and her on this speedboat.
Here we go.
We roll up 20 minutes up the island, and they drop us off on a black sands beach. I've never seen one. The sand was black.
Oh, nice.
Volcanic or?
It must have been. The water was still crystal blue. The sand was black. And then they point out this hotel on the mountain, and it's like rocks and beautiful. And they're like, that's where like Cher and Mariah Carey and P. Diddy go. Like, that's the most expensive place on the island, and this is the beach they go to, not Sugar Beach. I'm like, I thought Sugar Beach was the cool one. They're like, this is it. Like, we don't take anybody here. I'm like,
just
all right.
then Mick Jagger comes out of the surf.
Yeah.
And this is $30 extra.
No, they drop us off. We go to the beach. I hang out with some of the leaf making kids. Like, everybody was super cool. Of course, everybody tries to sell you illegal stuff, because it's the celebrity beach. So there's everything in the world there that you could possibly think of. So their rum was a little stronger on this beach. And so I had a little bit too much of it. I was pretty tanked. Like, I was way tanked on this beach. I started drinking rum after rum.
Well, you're on vacation, bud.
Oh, man.
Good on you.
Here's the worst part. We're there for like 2 hours, and it's a pretty snotty beach, too, I'd have to say. Like, they only take celebs. Because when we tried to sit...
snobby beach.
Yeah, when we tried to sit in one of their beach chairs, this lady come out, and she's like, they're $50 chair per hour. I'm like... I'll sit on my towel.
That's some chair.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the chair do?
Yeah, it was rough.
Holy cats.
So this was like the rich beach. I can see why. It was gorgeous. It was postcard gorgeous. But somehow, we hang out for a while, and then it starts to rain a little bit. And now they must have went and got all these other people, and we're waiting for the boat to come back. Now, we have to be back to the boat in we have about an hour and 15 minutes, so we got time, The boat's pretty fast. It has twin 250 Mercs on it. They're a little bit late getting us back because it started to rain, and I was thinking, well, they don't want to run in this rain, so they're waiting at the beach a little longer so they don't have to run in the pouring down rain because it rains and goes. They come flying up the beach to get us, and me and Lacey jump on the boat, but because it's full now, she has to sit up front, and I have to sit in the back to separate us. I'm pretty wasted drunk.
Talkative.
Yes, I'm very talkative. And I'm sitting in the back, and I'm sitting with a bunch of strangers, and we take off and leave.
Footloose and fancy free.
We may get 200 yards offshore, and the boat breaks down. I'm not kidding you. Lacey just told me when we left, because I said, what if the boat breaks down? She's like, oh, no, it says right here, never missed a cruise boat. It's not a carnival excursion. We get out there, and they're talking in Creole. There's 3 people on the boat that are other than us. And
that's not Creole.
The little tiny driver comes back, walks over top of everybody, pops this hood off of 250 horsepower Mercury, rubs the bottom of it, and his hand comes up just covered in oil. And I went, oh, and I knew like right away my heart sank because he kept trying to start it, and the red light was coming on, and it was doing it wouldn't fire up. We're drifting now out to sea, away from St. Lucia, not towards
farther away.
It's 100 degrees. I have no cigarettes. My little e-vape pen was dead on the beach, and there's nothing to drink on this boat but rum.
Somebody call Bucky. We need to replace an impeller.
Oh, my God. So I start drinking rum, and he's like, that's refills. I'm like, your boat's broken. I'm drinking all I want. I'm getting in your cooler because there's nothing else to drink. There's about a half an hour goes by adrift as he tries to work on this, and the girl on the boat's dad who owns the place, so she calls Spencer, and Spencer is apparently coming with another boat because this boat ain't starting. 50 minutes adrift, and it's so dangerous. It's third world country standard, so this boat is rocking up and down to where if you would like jump out of it, you'd hit your head off the boat.
Yeah,
they let this young girl jump off the side of the boat in the middle of the ocean with one of the orange life jackets on to pee in the water because she couldn't wait. Nobody look, they said. Nobody look while she pees. I'm going, she's going to get killed. We're rocking back and forth about 8 feet. And she's going to smash her head off the side of the boat. And then they give these 2 little tiny people to pick her up and pull her back in the boat. I just want to go, get out of the way. I'll get her. Move.
Yeah.
Better yet, get the hell out of the way. Give me a banana peel and a McDonald's straw, and I'll fix the motor. So they had water in the oil fuel separator, and I wanted to splice straight from the gas tank to the motor. And that's exactly what he was doing. He was just burning it up because he was trying to run water through it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me work on it. 50 minutes goes by. Do the math. Now we have half the time to get back to the cruise boat that we need. That we're drifting further away from the island.
Oh, boy.
And I keep asking the girl, so is your dad coming? Oh, yeah. And you can see 2 miles up the shoreline. And you can see if he's coming. Just about time that I gave up hope for the 5th time. Here comes a boat around the corner. This dude come down, and he had a 100-foot tail behind his boat coming. And I went, whatever the hell he's bringing is hauling ass.
Let's go.
Yeah. He comes down, and he does a U-turn right beside us. This great, big, huge Islander black guy that speaks Creole. Let's call him Spencer. He comes down and does a U-turn, and he cracks the front of the boat off of our boat because he comes in too hot. And I went, oh, 2 fiberglass boats. Whoops. And then I look.
Third.
And then I look and I see it. He comes flying in. So we do a sea-to-sea transfer, these big buoys. I went off the boat. I jump up on the side, and I'm helping everybody off the boat. Of course, I'm going to be the last guy off.
Yeah.
And this little old lady's coming off the boat, and I'm getting her over, and I'm the last guy off, and I sit in the back, and I turn around and see it. Triple 300 Yamahas on the back.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, 900 horsepower.
Jammies.
Oh, I don't even sit down, and he's gone. If hats are flying off, backpacks are flying around the boat, people are flying out of their seats because we're out in the ocean going 900 horsepower. And the front of the boat's coming out of the water, I'm not telling you, it's 7 to 8 feet sometimes and slamming down. And
man.
Because if he misses our boat, we have 40 minutes to make a 45-minute trip. If he misses our boat, then he has to help us get a hotel, fly to St. Kitts the next day because the boat won't wait for you. The cruise boat will not wait for you.
They go.
And we're timing this that we're going to be 10 minutes late, not 10 minutes on time, because they have a 10-minute window. So the only good thing for us is there's 17 people missing, not 2. You know, so we're flying back. Let's make this a long story short. This boat is moving. The right back motor, right where I'm sitting, starts to smoke and cut out. So we're going 55 miles an hour dragging this motor, and it's got 3 independent throttles. And he keeps popping this thing back in gear, and it's kicking. And it pops in gear, we're going 66. Pops out, we're going 52. I'm watching the speedometer, we're going 66. And it's like hitting the gas pedal on a Ferrari every time that motor kicks back in. And he's beating the hell out of it. It would go for 100 yards, and then after a while, after he did it about 50 times, it would go for like 20 yards, and he'd just keep popping it. So we're about roughly a mile or so. We're by that Sandals. We're roughly about a mile or so from the boat. And just out of nowhere, no telling us, no nothing, he does a U-turn in the middle of the ocean, starts heading back south. And people are freaking out because everybody's saying we're going to miss the boat.
Yeah.
We don't have credit cards on us.
Nothing.
He's out of gas. He has to run into port real quick. He has to run like 1,000 yards into this port, which he made a last-minute decision to run in, get fuel, or run out of gas. Like miss the boat because you run out of gas, or get gas and maybe make the boat. And people are pissed. Like they're yelling at him, we're not even paying you. They're like, well, this is ridiculous. Oh, we're out of fuel. I will get you to the boat, man. No problem. I got you. I'll get you there.
Spencer's got a weird accent.
We get pulled.
Like I said, I've never liked Spencer.
We get to pull into this marina that's from the mouth of this little port off the island is probably 600-700 yards. I mean, it's a ways in, and it's all no wake zone. It's literally not like a 30 horsepower and half throttle. It's no wake zone.
Good news, Spencer don't care.
Spencer comes into this port. There's people on paddle boards and kayaks. There's mega yachts tied up.
It's like in Caddyshack.
Yeah, when the boat comes
out. I'm kidding. I'm not telling you. It's exactly like
the guy in the little dinghy jumps out.
It's exactly like that. The whole way to the gas pump is 100% full throttle. He's beating every boat off the docks that are tied up. Everybody's falling out of their kayaks. People are yelling at him. He flies right up, puts it in reverse, comes in, puts a gas pump in. The side of the boat's pumping, and he's haggling the guy with gas prices. Oh, no. He's yelling at this guy about gas prices. This is only a 5-minute pit stop. He did really good. The gas nozzle was taken out. He didn't even put the thing back in and had this thing in 900 horsepower reverse. And I looked around as we were going out of this port at these boats beating off docks and like being beached and washed up, and these poor people yelling at him. He just didn't care, man. It was 900 horsepower and a 4-foot wake the whole way out of that place.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's worth the price of the
Somewhere
trip
there's
right
a
there.
podcast being recorded right now where these people are talking about this boat that came flying through while they were on their paddleboard trip.
It was so rude.
We come out of that.
I ruined my whole day of yoga on a paddleboard.
We come out of that port, and he made a right and headed north. And I mean, I'll show you the videos. We were coming up that last mile. You could see the boat, and they were untying it. Like we knew we missed it. The big giant blue ropes that hold it in port.
Yeah.
There's like 10 of them because me and Lacey watched them tied up every day. There was 2 of them left on it. You could see it on the front.
Oh, did you guys get to climb up the rope?
No,
like
no.
little rats.
It's a long way up to like the 11th floor of that boat. Up them. So we come flying in. There's 4 minutes left to make it to the boat, and the boat's 500 yards away still. And these poor little old people, they're not going to do that.
No.
The girl with the life jacket that had to pee, the young like volleyball player.
Yeah.
She jumped off this boat and she's like running through the little shopping mall, and everybody's like, "Oh, you want to buy a necklace? Do you want to?" No, we gotta get the boat.
She pushed him out of the way. It's like Naked Gun.
Oh, I was so drunk. I was screaming at this boat, "Make it stop! Wave at it, Americans! Stop it!" They were really rude to us and really like hurrying us because we were like 15 minutes late getting back.
Yeah.
They were very not happy because they don't like to be late for their itineraries.
Yeah.
Right.
I have never been on a 900 horsepower boat going full tilt with a motor blowing up, smoking and cutting out of gear, with a guy yelling in Creole, knocking other boats off the water, coming up St. Lucia, this most beautiful place, and then get off the boat, and the only thing through my head went, I still owe this guy $200. Should I give it to him? Because I just spent adrift for an hour in the heat drinking his rum, and I'm not going to pay him for that. But apparently everybody else prepaid, so when we got off, he's like, Garvin, do you have my money? I'm like, shh, her name's Fry. I don't know what you're talking about.
See ya.
No, we paid him. So I had a bad feeling, and Lacey booked that trip. So they kept telling me it's the only time it's ever happened. We're sorry. We've never been through anything like this. So his new slogan on his website said, "I've never missed a cruise boat, but I shit myself once." Like, it was that close.
Hey, it would not be a Catfish vacation without a story like that.
I mean, it was a long, drawn out day of adventure. It truly was.
I got a hunch there's a lot more.
Yeah,
There was.
I think there's a part dose.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you very quickly. I'll end it. There's so much more about this vacation that was fun, but real quick. So we went to St. Martin. It's split half and half, Dutch and French.
Okay.
Lacey, the other thing I had the bad feeling about is Lacey decided to take me to do this thing called the Flying Dutchman. It's the highest peak mountain on the entire island, and you take a ski lift up the mountain. Now, I didn't know this. This was a surprise, and this was on the last day. And this was right after we spent the beautiful day of St. Kitts renting a four-wheeler and riding 80 miles around the island on the road with all these beautiful views and people shaking your hand and how nice you are and giving you drinks, and everywhere you stop, you're, "Oh, Americans, hello, nice four-wheeler, you know, come on." Yeah, no. They're like, "Get on the ski lift, go. Like, get up there, raise your feet. Go that way. Like, they're trying to rush you through all this stuff. You get on a ski lift. It's a 40-minute ride, a ski lift up this mountain.
On the ski lift, 40 minutes.
Remind you, this is a third world country that went through 2 major hurricanes and an earthquake, and I'm freaking out whether the stuff's structurally good or not.
And they have a bunch
fine.
of staff checking safety checks every day.
Oh yeah, every hour.
Sure. Yeah.
So after you get up there, you have to do zip lining through 4 different peaks of the mountain.
OSHA approved.
And then up another ski lift, and then you have a hike up to this tallest peak of the mountain, and then you do the Flying Dutchman. And I tell you what, it's been a long time since I've been strapped into an electric chair, or a chair, I mean.
Did that cost $30 extra?
You should pee at the bottom of the mountain, because it's been a long time since I looked at my wife and went, I'm scared. Like, I don't like this. Yeah. I didn't like it before, but now I'm up here, I hate it. You could see the entire island. The houses, like, you couldn't differentiate the houses. They were like all looked like little, like, checkers. But when they let you go, you strap into this thing and you go 2,900 feet down the mountain less than a minute. the heavier you are, there's actually a scale. You step on it. I ain't kidding you. It says yes or no if you're heavy enough to ride it. I'll show it to you. Don't have your weight on. Just says yes or no. Lacey barely made it. Mine went the whole way to the top. When like you're the pristine weight limit for the Flying Dutchman.
Gonna set a record today.
And I saw a gal beat you.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, she was a bit heavier than me. They pushed me off this thing, and I looked back at Lacey with the GoPro, and it was like a freaking NASCAR to a punch bug. I'm like, where the hell are you going backwards? I come down off that mountain at 60, 70 miles an hour, flying on a cable, hundreds of feet over the air, and you can see the entire island. The Flying Dutchman's really cool if you want an adrenaline rush, thrill fun, but if you're afraid of heights, just stay at the bottom of the mountain and pet the iguanas. That was just fun.
I saw that video, bud. You were zizzing. You were zizzing. Sounded good.
I don't do well with heights.
Taking line.
Yeah, I'll let it go at that. We're running out of time, but I mean, the boat was cool. I had a nice vacation. We had some good adventure, but just stick with, if you're gonna whatever cruise boat you're on, just stick with their adventures unless
That wouldn't be as much fun, bud.
yeah. So
Hey, David, Kyle.
You saw some country.
Yeah, bud.
It's good stuff.
When we're not zizzing lines, blowing up engines, running through Carnival boat terminals, where can people find us?
You can find us at rutandriverpursuit.com. You can find us on all social media by searching Rut and River Pursuit. What else can they find us on, Ryan?
Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel, Rut and River Pursuit Podcast. And, of course, the podcast itself, always available. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Castbox.
I'm starving.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm getting hungry.
If you're hungry.
You know what I smuggled the whole way to St. Lucia?
What's that?
Some Moses family jerky.
Get out of town.
It was in a special compartment in my backpack, and I made it just to that.
You mean those dogs didn't find it?
It's funny you said that because Lacey was very proud of me because I sat and shared my Moses family jerky with 2 stray pit bulls.
Oh,
yep.
Not the canine dogs.
No, just 2. There's stray dogs everywhere. And we ate Moses family jerky together. They like the spicy.
Yeah, so make sure you use the promo code JerkyPursuit15 to get 15% off the entire website.
MFjerky.com.
Yeah.
Good on you, boys.
Until
Heck
next
of a
week.
We knew this was coming.
Oh, we
Welcome
did.
back,
We're going to hear
Catfish.
more of it.
Welcome
Can't
back.
wait.
Welcome back.
Never trust a
welcome
taxi
back.
driver named Raul.
All right,
I thought
boys.
it was Spencer.
No, that's a boat driver.
That's the boat taxi.
Oh, boy.
We'll see y'all soon.
See ya.
Trash Panda Quiver.
Keep your arms straight.
Get you some.
It was so rude.
We come out of that.
I run my whole day of yoga on a paddleboard.
Remember my beehole problem that I had? Well, I don't want to get into that, but that problem's still around. Well, it's not around anymore.
As long as it's not an a-hole problem.
We got that.
Super nice guy.
Probably one of the top 3 politest guys I've ever met in my life. He says,
After me and Will.
after you and Will,
Okay.
then there's Brian. He says, I didn't really want to tell you this, but you've been pronouncing my name wrong. It's
Brian.
Brian? Is it Brian?
Hi, Brian.
Brian.
It's French.
Brian.
It's Pick Diesel.
What?
Pick Diesel.
I thought it was Pike
Pikarowski.
Diesel, too.
No.
Once you go Pike,
Pikarowski.
Why you didn't tell me that all day when I called him that?
Once you go Pike, you can't dislike.
No, I can't
Is that
go
what
back.
you said?
Yeah, once you go Pike, you can't dislike.
Well,
Pike Diesel. I'm
and he-
sorry. Brian
Did he take
Pikarowski.
offense?